Upon the death of Emperor Antoninus Pius in 161 AD, Marcus Aurelius ascended to the throne and insisted that his adoptive brother, Lucius Verus, born Lucius Sianius Commodus, be granted equal imperial powers. This marked the first time in Roman history that the empire was ruled by co-emperors. Despite their equal titles, Marcus Aurelius held greater authority due to his seniority and position as Pontifex Maximus. After the death of Emperor Lothair III in December 1137, Conrad III of the Hohenstaufen dynasty was elected King of Germany on March 7, 1138 at Koblenz, in the presence of the papal legate Theodwin. Conrad's election initiated the Hohenstaufen rule, leading to prolonged conflicts between the Hohenstaufen, Ghibellines, and their rivals, the Welfs, Guelphs. In 1277, the University of Paris issued a series of condemnations targeting various philosophical and theological theses deemed incompatible with Christian doctrine. These condemnations aimed to curb the influence of certain Aristotelian ideas and other philosophical positions considered heretical. The Ottoman-Venetian War, 1570–1573, concluded with the signing of a peace treaty in 1573. As a result, the Republic of Venice ceded the island of Cyprus to the Ottoman Empire, solidifying Ottoman dominance in the eastern Mediterranean. During his campaign in the Middle East, Napoleon Bonaparte captured the city of Jaffa, present-day Yaffo, Israel, in March 1799. Following the city's surrender, Napoleon's forces executed approximately 2,000 to 3,000 Ottoman prisoners, a decision that has been widely debated and criticized by historians. On March 7, 1814, during the War of the Sixth Coalition, Emperor Napoleon I of France achieved a tactical victory against Russian and Prussian forces at the Battle of Craonne in France. Despite heavy casualties, the battle demonstrated Napoleon's resilience in the face of the advancing coalition armies. The Shrigley abduction involved the kidnapping of 15-year-old Ellen Turner by Edward Gibbon Wakefield in 1826. Wakefield sought to force a marriage to claim her substantial inheritance. The plot was uncovered, the marriage annulled, and Wakefield was imprisoned. This scandal influenced subsequent legal reforms in England regarding marriage and abduction laws. On March 7, 1850, U.S. Senator Daniel Webster delivered his famous 7th of March speech endorsing the Compromise of 1850. Webster argued that the compromise was essential to preserve the Union and avert civil war, even though it included provisions like the Fugitive Slave Act, which were contentious among abolitionists. On March 7, 1876, Alexander Graham Bell received U.S. patent number 174,465 for his invention of the telephone. This groundbreaking device revolutionized global communication, laying the foundation for the interconnected world we experience today. During the Second Boer War, the Battle of Tweebosch occurred on March 7, 1902. Boer forces, led by General Coutts de la Rey, defeated the British troops under Lieutenant General Lord Methuen. This victory was one of the last significant Boer successes before the war concluded later that year. In March 1921, miners in Laban, Croatia, declared the short-lived Laban Republic in response to poor working conditions and political unrest. The self-proclaimed republic sought to establish workers' rights and resist fascist influences, but was suppressed by Italian forces after about a month. On March 7, 1931, the Parliament House Eduskuntatalo in Helsinki, Finland, was officially inaugurated. The building, characterized by its neoclassical architecture, became the seat of Finland's parliament and a symbol of Finnish democracy. On March 7, 1941, the German submarine U-47, commanded by Kapitänleutnant Gunther Prien, disappeared without a trace during World War II. Prien was renowned for his daring 1939 raid on the British naval base at Scapa Flow, where he sank the battleship HMS Royal Oak. The exact cause of U-47's disappearance remains uncertain, with theories ranging from mechanical failure to being sunk by Allied forces. On March 7, 1951, United Nations forces, led by General Matthew Ridgway, launched Operation Ripper during the Korean War. The objective was to recapture Seoul and push Chinese and North Korean forces north of the 38th parallel. The operation was successful, leading to the recapture of Seoul by March 14, 1951. On March 7, 1951, Iranian Prime Minister Ali Razmara was assassinated by Khalil Tahmassebi, a member of the militant group Fatah-e-Islam, outside a mosque in Tehran. Razmara's assassination was a pivotal event leading up to the nationalization of the Iranian oil industry. On March 7, 1965, approximately 600 civil rights activists embarked on a march from Selma to Montgomery, Alabama, to protest the denial of voting rights to African Americans. As they crossed the Edmund Pettus Bridge, they were met by state and local law enforcement who attacked them with billy clubs, whips, and tear gas. This event, known as Bloody Sunday, garnered national attention and was instrumental in the passage of the Voting Rights Act of 1965. In March 1968, U.S. and South Vietnamese forces initiated Operation Trong Cong Dinh to eliminate Viet Cong presence around the My Tho area in South Vietnam. The operation aimed to secure the region and disrupt enemy supply lines. On March 7, 1971, Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, the leader of East Pakistan, now Bangladesh, delivered a historic speech at the racecourse ground in Dhaka. In his address, he called for civil disobedience and prepared the nation for the struggle for independence, which culminated in the Bangladesh Liberation War later that year. Following the Space Shuttle Challenger disaster on January 28, 1986, divers from the USS Preserver located the crew cabin on the ocean floor in March 1986. The recovery operation was a somber effort to retrieve the remains of the 7 astronauts who perished in the tragedy. On March 7, 1987, Taiwanese military personnel killed 19 unarmed Vietnamese refugees on Donggang Beach in Lieyu, Kinmen. The incident, known as the Lieyu massacre, drew international condemnation and highlighted the plight of Vietnamese boat people fleeing their country. In March 1989, Iran and the United Kingdom broke diplomatic ties following the controversy over Salman Rushdie's novel, The Satanic Verses. The book was deemed blasphemous by many Muslims, leading to protests and a fatwa calling for Rushdie's death issued by Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Khomeini. On March 7, 2006, the terrorist organization Lashkar-e-Taiba orchestrated a series of bombings in Varanasi, India. The attacks targeted a temple and a railway station, resulting in numerous casualties and highlighting the ongoing threat of terrorism in the region. On March 7, 2007, the British House of Commons voted in favor of making the House of Lords 100% elected. This decision marked a significant step toward reforming the UK's parliamentary system, aiming to enhance democratic representation in the upper chamber. On March 7, 2024, Sweden officially became the 32nd member of the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, NATO. This accession represented a strategic shift in Sweden's defense policy, aligning more closely with Western military alliances. In March 2024, Hannah Gutierrez-Reed, the armorer for the film Rust, was found guilty of involuntary manslaughter in the death of cinematographer Helena Hutchins. This marked the first time someone was held criminally responsible for a fatality on a movie set, prompting widespread discussions about safety protocols in the film industry.